Amongst the sands of Tunisia lies a deserted desert town, or what remains of a desert town, a war-torn village between the sand dunes. A lone railway connects it to the outside world. A nearby oasis provides water amidst the endless sea of sand. This is the battlefield for today, with the Germans looking to strike deep into American-controlled territory, lay claim to the town, lay claim to the water, and lay claim to the vital supply line that the railroad provides. In the red corner, we have Luke and Wayne with the Germans. Luke will be bringing a Panzer III tank company with 2 platoons of Panzer IIIs, with a mix of short, long and up-armoured variants, along with a platoon of Panzer IVs, containing one very scary long 75. He also has a platoon of 2 88s, and finally, to round it all up, a platoon of 3 5cm guns. In the blue corner, we have Ryan and Phil with the Americans. Ryan will be taking an M3 Lee tank company with 2 M3 Lee tank platoons, each one containing a single long gun. He'll also be taking a platoon of 4 M3 Stuarts. As support, he'll be bringing a platoon of 4 M10 Wolverines, and finally a platoon of 3 M7 Priests, along with an M3 Stuart as an observation post. The mission: counter-attack. The defender will place an objective and their units in the bottom left table quarter. The attacker will place their units in the top left hand table quarter, and the attacker also places an objective in the bottom right table quarter. And we're ready to go. I've got a few decisions to make in the deployment phase, because I have 2 objectives I have to look after. I know I've got quite a few tanks, but the good majority of them are going to be in reserve, hopefully coming on very soon. So I'm going to need to decide how to split my forces. I decided I'm going to take Phil's advice. I'm going to place the M7s and 1 platoon of Lees on my left-hand flank, and I'm going to push the other Lees with the headquarters and the spotter into the town to hopefully hold off a big advance that way.
So the first thing I'm thinking when I'm deploying, when I was deploying my army, mostly I was thinking about how I can take advantage of the terrain. Ryan took up a pretty open position. He's got a lot of fairly hefty guns. So immediately I took 2 platoons to the left of the ridge. Also, on his objective that he deployed, I noticed that the priests were in the open, which meant that I could use a Panzer III platoon. Since I've got 3, I figured this one was spare, and I could push up the right. And I also put the guns there because they had some pretty long line of sight. The long 5cm guns, they only have a short jog to get over to a hill crest and start really peppering the rounds over there. It's mostly to keep them pinned in that side of the table whilst being fully defended from the left. The plan is to move towards my objective from there.
And with that, the forces are deployed and the armies are ready to roll out. Let's get this battle underway.
Alright, so I'm going to move my Panzer IIIs. We're going to do our... funny enough, I'm probably going to do my cross-country dash for the most part. Because, yeah, I just want to get these guys absolutely hauling. So turn 1 went a lot better than I expected. I've been really cautious on my left flank. Since I'm waiting till turn 6 for the objective to open, I figure I move towards it and threaten, but don't necessarily push hard and take casualties just yet. The plan is to take as little on that left flank as possible, leave some in reserve. The right flank, on the other hand, where Ryan is holding his objective, it looks a little bit more vulnerable than I thought. The 88s have scared him off from the center of the table, so I'm going to take full advantage of that, splitting his force down the middle and pushing hard on the right. Sweet. So for him, he's hitting on 3s.
He's hitting on a 3.
He doesn't.
Doesn't.
The 2 shorts.
Hitting on
4s.
Hitting on the first one as well. So 1 hit on the front one.
Yep. So it's just him.
8.
So roll your armor save.
So it's 3. It's a 4 because long range. So I'm needing 4 to potentially nut. It's going in.
And my firepower check. He does it. We claim a priest. I killed a priest on the right flank, which means that that objective is looking a little bit more open than it was. The plan is to push forward again and keep peppering rounds into them.
And just like that, Luke's on the board. With a priest killed, M3 lead killed, and already advancing in position. Let's see how Ryan responds.
My deployment wasn't the best in hindsight. With 1 priest already wiped out, the other 2 not looking too flash, I did not expect an aggressive flank from those Panzer 3s. Get to roll reserves off bat, 5+, see if 1 shows up. No, nothing today. Also, haven't managed to get my reserves in, which is a little bit unfortunate because I would have liked some security on that other flank, because Luke pushing all of his Panzer 3s and 4s that way is starting to look a little bit scary. All the other Lees and the HQ are going to just push further into the town, hopefully just get set up and ready, and potentially form a crossfire if I manage to get my M10s in from reserve later on. Decide I need to take on these Panzer 3s, so I'm going to direct fire with the 2 M7 priests, and I'm going to rotate 2 of the Lees to get shots on these Panzer 3s. I start with these 2 Lees into the Panzer 3s.
Yep.
So I'm going to get 4 shots. Let's see it.
Oh, 3 hits.
3 hits. So just potential bails, are we? Firepower to bail as they lie.
Sweet. So you only bail
the end
this
one.
guy.
These 2 turn to direct fire.
Yep.
What am I hit on? 4s?
Yep. Yes, as long as you're within close range.
Yep, we are just in close range there.
With that, anti-tank 9.
Correct.
So 3 for potential, bounced.
Yep.
And for him, bounced as well.
The shooting hasn't gone as planned. I would have liked to have done a little bit more. I've got 4 guns firing, but 1 bale of Panzer 3 is still a Panzer 3 that can't fight, so hopefully it stays that way moving into the next turn.
Not much has changed at the end of Defender Turn 1. With some Lees pushing into the town and 1 battled Panzer 3, Ryan better hope that Luke's next turn isn't that flash.
So, the left flank is looking fairly sturdy. I've not seen any reserves just yet, but we're going to take up a defensive stance. The Panzer 3 platoon is going to go on the hill. That provides me with both cover and a nice, plenty open shooting field for when Ryan comes around the corner. The Panzer 4s will be moving up. They're in position to threaten the objective for when that opens. Ryan basically being presented with a choice by me now to come out and try and push me away, scare me off, or sit there, gamble, and wait for things. On the right flank, my 5 centimeters are going to go up the hill, and we're going to take full advantage of the Lees needing to back off a little bit, and we're going to pepper them with even more rounds and keep up that fire base. In that case, yeah, I'm going to put the short 5s into the Lees.
Yep.
And then I'm going to put the long 5 into the 2 priests.
Into the priest. Yep.
So into the Lees, we get 3 hits.
Cool.
And now for the long 5 centimeter. 1.
One on the priest. So the
priest.
priest is 3, so 6. 6 to potentially bounce. No way.
And
boom.
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 So at this point, I've killed 2 priests using the Panzer Freeze. Plan was to see if I can inflict a little bit more hurt on the Lees. Isn't quite happening at this stage, but at this point, I'm not too worried. I seem to be holding out really well with those guys.
With another priest dead, and the Panzer 3s and 4s taking up very aggressive positions, Luke is looking ahead in the game.
The priests definitely were misplaced. I've now lost 2, I've only got 1 left, and he's going to have to run away and just hope he doesn't get shot up by someone else.
Oh, did you roll your immediate reserves, by the way?
Oh, that's a good point. 2 looking for 5s. No reserves. It'd be nice. Reserves haven't arrived again, which is now getting a little bit infuriating. And I'm going to have to bring my M3 Lees back from their forward position get them into the trees, and hopefully allowing them to stick around just that little bit longer. Lee crosses on a 4+. Okay. Cross check says they lie.
Oof, only one.
Fail. Unfortunately, I can't roll dice, so I've managed to fail 3 of the cross checks, leaving 3 M3 Lee stranded out in the open in front of 5 centimeters in front of his Panzer IIIs, and hopefully not in front of his 88s. The other M3 Lees are just going to push a little bit further into the town, get set up and get ready for that big push, which I think is coming soon. So I've got 6 shots at Panzer IIIs.
Yep.
5, 6. One's take a stabilizer, so 5s. All of them get a hit.
Nice. Yep, so roll your firepower checks on the 2 normal Panzer IIIs.
As they lie. 1 and a 2!
Jeez.
Oh, that's not good. So I've shot all I can at some Panzer IIIs, and I've bailed 2 of them. It could be better. I could have killed some, but it could be worse. If they stay bailed, he's going to have to check motivation instantly, so fingers crossed those things leave because they're looking a little bit scary at the moment.
Ryan had also better hope that reinforcements arrive soon, because that left flank is looking very weak. Let's see how Luke takes advantage of that.
So the Panzer III platoon on the right flank is doing incredibly well at this point. I've got Ryan a little bit nervous at this point, and the Lees are needing to back off. I think I just press home the advantage. We put as many rounds as we possibly can into that squadron and try and finish it off. Sweet. So I'm gonna do the shooting here. So I'm gonna do 2 88s. 1 hit, which is all I wanted.
1 big smack. Just
1
roll that.
3+.
Oh.
Nope.
That shook them up a wee bit.
We'll now go to the 5 centimeter guns on the hill. So we're hitting on 3s for them as well.
Yep. Oh, that's a lot of hits.
That's a nice roll. As they lie, 2 potential destroys. We
1.
destroyed 1. That's him. 4+. Yes, we do get the bail.
Bail.
I've bailed the whole squadron.
The whole platoon is now bailed out.
So at this stage, I've killed 1 and I've bailed 3. This is looking very bad for Ryan. He's got forced to get back in. But yeah, hopefully it'll keep going well for me.
Things are definitely going bad for Ryan. Can he remount those Panzer IIIs? Let's find out.
Things are starting to look a little bit dire going into my turn 3. Those Lees are... Oh, they're not looking too flash. Hopefully I can get some of them in so they stick around, because if they go, then that objective has been left wide open. Reserves, immediate reserves, 3 dice looking for 5s. Come on, I gotta get something back. Hey! One thing appears. You know it's coming in, baby. I finally managed to get some reserves in, which is exciting. I have now realised that all my reserves are going to arrive at the other objective, so I could have potentially left some Lees behind, but those M10s are going to be really good, especially if he does decide to push those Panzer IVs and Panzer IIIs into the town. I've got a good crossfire set up now. 4s to get them in.
Yep. Oh, 2 get back in.
The guy in the forest doesn't get back in. Well, I guess I roll cross checks on them both. 4s, one of them get... Oh, bloody hell. The Lees thankfully managed to get back in their tanks, however still can't pass cross checks. So 1 is left outside, 1 is still bailed out.
So just...
The corner of this gun and those 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And you re-roll those 2 5s, I believe, since it's a single gun.
Yep. So 188. Firepower to destroy that. Oh, if I could take an 88 out, that'd be massive. Oh, 5. Yep.
Sweet. So, last stand.
Oof.
Yeah.
Ooh. Shooting is a big saviour for me. This lone M7 priest, with the help of the OP, managed to range in on the 88s. Against all the odds, he's re-rolling successful hits because he's the last gun left. He's on terrain, he's hitting dug-in 88s. He managed to lob a single shell, goes right over the top. Boom, I take out an 88, last one flees. Oh, needed that one. I really needed that one.
Getting rid of the 88s and getting the M10s on the table is definitely a big turn for Ryan. How is Luke going to respond?
So this has been the highest casualties I've taken all game. 188 and another one fled for it. So now the center of the table is wide open. Thankfully, I've still got the 5 centimeters. They're not taking morale or last stand just yet. At this stage, I'm still looking to really press home the advantage. So the Panzerfrees have to keep at it. We're going to keep pushing hard for the objective while those 5 centimeter guns pepper. At this point, the Lees are looking really tasty, but the Panzerfrees are looking to be struggling a little bit. I figure I move the Panzer4s around the embankment. We go as fast as we can, really, while still taking shots. We can hopefully squeeze in a few side shots with the Panzer IV short 7.5 centimeters. We've got a long one as well to hopefully put some rounds further down. We'll see how things go from here. We're going to fire all of our shots into your dudes, hitting on 4s because the majority of it's in cover.
Yep.
One hit. We're going to fire the Panzer IVs. Our direct fire is probably not in range, knowing. Oh no. We've got 3 shots. We're at long range. You're in cover. So 3s, 4s, 5s. We're just going to go straight to them.
Yep.
Oh, we get 1. We're putting in the work again with the shorts on the
These guys are
over here.
Throwing ammunition at each other.
Yeah. So at the long, we're throwing into the Lees. So that's 1 hit.
1 hit.
And the shorts. 1, 2. So we got. It's a 4+. Let's see if it happens. It does. So we got it down to 1 dude and he's bailed. At this point, we've done all of our shooting. 3 are dead and the last one is bailed. I think I might have this.
Luke is confident he's got the game in hand. With that left objective looking really weak, he might do. What is Ryan going to do here?
This is really not looking too flash now. Those Panzer IVs have wheeled around. I wasn't quite expecting that. So now I've got one objective that's really open and a lot of tanks on the wrong side of the table.
Yeah, let's see what happens with your morale. So
4+. Doesn't get back in.
last stand for the M3.
5.
Staying. And the priest.
He's not getting back in. Oh, yeah, the priest. 4+ again.
And
he's leaving, but he's done his job. The leads aren't looking as flash. I've lost 3. Last one's bailed out. He doesn't get back in, but he does stay. So he's not contesting the objective, but hopefully he sticks around just that little bit longer, and here's hoping he takes out a Panzer III at least. So give me a little bit of a fighting chance on that flank. And I'm going to roll a single 5.
Yeah, you got your 5.
There it is. The Stuarts come on. My Stuarts arrive, which is brilliant. And I decide I'm going to push these right to the edge of their deployment, right on the flanks of some Panzer IIIs. And here's hoping 8 dice at the side of Panzer IIIs, I can get rid of one of the threats on the table. And I decide now is probably the time to let go of the objective in the town. I'm going to have the Lees, I've got the M10s, I need to get back to the objective that I'm losing. So I'm going to wheel my M3 Lees back through the bottom of the town, maybe get some passing shots on the side of some Panzer IVs as I head back to my objective. Looking for 5s or 6s. Oop. That's a lot of dice that have done nothing. My Stuarts missed all their shots, which is absolutely brilliant. Couldn't have asked for anything more from them. So 7s.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Oof, double 6. I got 1 hit.
3.
That's gonna go through.
That'll
front.
be a 4 because
long range.
long range, so
4,
it's a potential bail.
It's potential bail. My HQ does its job. Funny enough, I've managed to bail the enemy HQ, which is okay. Hopefully he stays bailed out because it's one less gun to deal with.
A very unlucky turn for Ryan. He definitely did a lot more than that. Let's see how Luke pushes high on this advantage he now has.
So Ryan's stepped out with his reinforcements now. His HQ has taken a shot at and bailed my HQ, which is quite concerning. And the Panzer IIIs have just been ambushed by Stuarts as well. Things are looking a little bit dicey, but I'm still all right. Like, it's keeping calm, staying down, and not getting too reckless just yet. So in this case, I decided to take a bit of a risk and blitz the Panzer IIIs to try and get position to do a full set of shooting. Unfortunately, because of the way they entered, couldn't shoot through my own Panzer IIIs. Thankfully, came through in the end, was able to rotate the column, take my shots, and deal with that Stuart platoon. With the last M3 bailed and plenty of tanks taking shots in that area, I move the Panzerfrees forward. We're taking the objective. Now we need to hold it until turn 6. So with that, I'm going to dedicate my guns. So these guys, shooting into him, hitting on 4s, just on the lee.
Yep.
Sweet. So 4 hits on him.
4 hits on him. 3 hits.
Anti-tank, oh sorry, 3 hits.
3 hits.
Anti-tank 9.
2 of them go through.
2 go through, so 2 4+.
Oh!
He's triple
He's
bail.
triple bails. He's just instantly motivation.
Instant motivation.
Nah. He's had enough.
The shooting's gone really well for me this time around. We've double bailed the lee, which has forced him to flee. 2 longs, 5 centimeters, and a short. All into the Stuarts. So we get 1, 2, 3.
Sounds about right.
And then, 2 more. So these 2, 1 destroyed and 1 bailed. Okay, so 3 bails over there. So 2 more bail tokens. As well as bringing the Panzerfrees to bear, we've managed to penetrate or bail nearly every single Stuart.
A double whammy from Luke, dealing damage onto the Stuarts and contesting the objective. Ryan's got a hard time coming back from this.
Losing a lot of tanks to bails here. This M3 Lee, bless him, has gone through the wars and he's been bailed so many times. I understand him packing up and leaving at this point. Stuart's on the other hand, it's a little bit unlucky. I've got 1 dead, I've got 3 bailed out, which I'm going to have to get back in, hopefully. And hopefully they pass their last stand. And I'm going to have to just dash with my M3 Lee towards this objective now because there's nothing holding it. First things first is get as many of those Stuarts back in as I possibly can.
So 1 gets in?
1 gets in, yep.
Yes, he will
Motivation.
have the last stand or else the whole unit flees. Oh god. So with that he leaves and these 2 are destroyed.
With 1 Stuart remounting and failing the last stand, unfortunately the Stuarts have done absolutely nothing. That could have gone better. I decided I need to make a move with my M10, so I'm going to hopefully pass a blitz, push them out and get some shots on those Panzer IIIs up at the hill. Now that they've moved and they're not gone to ground, they should be a little bit easier to hit. 4+ to blitz. Hit on 4s, not long range, but concealed, so 5s.
Yep. This could hurt. Oh Jesus.
2 3+. 2 dead Panzer IIIs. My M10s have got some kills, they're on the board. I've got 2 dead Panzer IIIs up on that sand dune, which is brilliant. The last one's gonna now have to start taking last stand tests. If I can get rid of him in the HQ, then I do actually stand a fighting chance in this game.
With Luke contesting the objective on the start of turn 6, it's a very, very slim fighting chance. Can Luke bring it home?
So, with this, it looks like the left flank might be in a little bit of trouble, having lost the support of the Panzer IVs, but honestly the Panzer IVs were needed elsewhere, so...
Do you want your long 5 centimeter to shoot my M10?
Yeah, I'll shoot.
You may as well.
Shoot your 2 M10s. 1 hit.
Straight to fiber.
4+.
Bang.
Thankfully, we can take out that M10 and scoot back into relative safety. He's managed to pass his last stand, which is pretty good news for me. The left flank is sadly in trouble, but at this stage, I'm not sure that it's completely relevant. Right now, I just need to prevent Ryan from taking back his objective. So I'm pushing that Panzer III platoon on the right, up and forwards on the objective to sit in the area where he'll try to move. That will dissuade him or prevent him from actually taking the objective.
Luke's aggressive push with the Panzer IIIs has given Ryan a very, very slim chance to take this game back. Can he kill all the Panzer IIIs in the objective? Let's find out.
It's really not looking too flash anymore. My M3Ls cannot get to the objective, so I'm hoping that my M3Ls can take out his Panzer IIIs on the objective and kill all of them, even though they haven't been able to do that so far in the game. And I'm hoping on the other side that I might be able to at least kill the HQ. I can't kill that Panzer III anymore, but maybe I can inflict enough damage. There's not a lot I can do anymore. 4 shots down range. 2 hit on 4s, 2 hit on 5s. Hit on 4s.
So 1
hit on 5s. 1 hit.
So 5 power check on the up armored.
The up armored.
There's a negatory.
Nope, we're bailing that. Unfortunately, that's going to be game. The M10s, their shots are inconsequential, but the M3 Lees that stayed stationary only managed to bail the single up-armoured Panzer III on the objective. So that's game, unfortunately.
Yeah, GG.
GG. That was actually fun though.
That was fun.
And with Luke managing to hold the bottom left objective, the end of turn 6, that'll be a German victory.
So yeah, that was a pretty decent game of Flames of War. I think I did really well in the deployment phase. Ryan leaving his priest a little bit open, and that lone platoon of Panzer IIIs absolutely performed superbly. There was a little bit of luck on my part in terms of like how well I did and where the hits were taken, and that I was able to get back in the tanks with relative ease. We ended up not taking a single casualty on the right Panzer III platoon. The 88s, they did their job, which, even though they got killed relatively early in the game, meant that I divided the table in half with their deployment. The left flank worked really well. It really kind of shocked me how quickly and easily I was able to redeploy the Panzer IVs to get in the fight on the other flank, which really worked to my advantage. Once we'd really kind of committed to our positions, Ryan thought that I'd be pushing really hard for that left flank, but I decided not to commit until I was absolutely sure. And that ended up paying off for me. The gamble paid off.
And that's game to the Germans. That could have gone a little bit better. In hindsight, my deployment wasn't ideal. Those priests should have been tucked back a little bit further so I could have got more use out of them. And also realizing that my reserves came on next to the other objective, I could have kept both platoons of Lees on my left-hand flank. But it was still a very fun game. I think we got lucky with a few rolls there. I got a little bit unlucky, but there's the roll of the dice. I'll get him next time.
Will Ryan get him next time? Stay tuned for more. Get your North African forces now, online or in store.